Good morning, dear students. I am your physics teacher Vinod Seni. I welcome you all at your favorite YouTube channel Vigyan Vihan. In our last video, we have discussed about the method of differentiation, about the derivatives and its applications. Learning derivatives is very much essential before the discussion of integration. If you want to watch that video, its link is given in the I button above. Please watch that video first. Now we are going to learn about the integration. By its name, we can easily understand it is the method of integrating the small parts of a bigger thing. The bigger thing is nothing but the area below a curve. The curve is shown as a function. The y is function of x. In that condition, the curve between x and y is plotted on a graph paper. The integration of the function with respect to the independent variable x will give you the area below this curve and above the x-axis. Between two limits a and b, b is called the upper limit, a is called the lower limit. Also, we can get the value of integration without limits. Dear students, first you would have to understand that the integration is nothing but the reverse operation of differentiation. The bigger part is nothing but the function which is dependent function of x. The x can be anything. It can be time, it can be distance, or anything else which is an independent quantity. Here I have written these definitions by which you can get an overview of integration. If a function's derivative can be written as y dash, the function is y here, then y dash is equal to dy by dx. Then if we integrate this derivative y dash with respect to x, then you will get the same function y again. The notation for the integration is very much similar to the capital English letter S. For open integral, you use only this sign. For integration, for limits integration, you use the limits below and above this sign. The lower limit is written at the lower part and the upper limit is written at the top part of this notation. In the same notation, if you use a note here, this is for a closed interval integration where the lower limit and upper limit is same over a curve which is making a closed loop. We will use in our physics derivations also. The properties of integration, like we have learnt in differentiation, we can use this integration method on linear combination of two different functions also, like a of fx plus minus b of gx, and its integration can be calculated by a is coming forward and the integration of function f plus or minus sign b multiplied with the integration of the function g with respect to x. Now dear students, if we want to get the integration within some limits, then this is the derivative of function fx then f dash x, and we make its integration between two limits a and b. Then we will get the value fx, the same function, and use the upper limit in the first part, then subtract the function's value at the lower limit value of x. Then we can write it as f of b minus f of a. If we want to get the integration of some derivative, then we will have to write fx plus c when there are no limits given for this integration. The c is nothing but the coefficient of integration, because if we get the derivative of some constant value, it is always equal to 0. But we know that the integration is reverse operation of differentiation. So when we integrate 0 with respect to some variable, then we will get a constant, that is the integration constant here. And the value of integration constant can be calculated on the basis of the given conditions. Dear students, these are the common formulas for integration. You can get these formulas using the previous learnt formulas in the lesson of derivatives. I will read out these formulas one by one, and you can see the corresponding differentiation formula on this left above corner. Dear students, the integration of 0 with respect to some variable is always equal to a constant value. If we get the derivative of quantity x with respect to x, we will get 1. In reverse process, if we get the integral of 1 with respect to x, you will get the quantity x plus the coefficient of integration. You have learned the derivative of x power n. In the reverse process, you will get the formula for the integral of x power n with respect to x, as x power is increased by 1, then x power n plus 1, divide it with the same value n plus 1 and plus the integration constant. If we get the derivative of natural log of x, you will get 1 upon x. In reverse process, if you get an integral of 1 upon x with respect to x, then you will get natural log of x plus c. The derivative of e power x is equal to e power x only. So here, if we get the integral of e power x with respect to x, you will get e power x plus the coefficient of integration, that is c. Now these are the trigonometric functions. If we get the integral of sine of x, you will get negative sine with cos of x plus c. If you get the integral of cos x with respect to x, you will get sin x plus c. Here is the positive sign. If you get the integral of sec square x, you will get tan x plus c. If you get the derivative of sec of x, then you will get tan x sec x. So if you get the integral of tan x sec x with respect to x, you will get positive sign sec x plus c. If you get the derivative of cosec x, you will get negative cot x cosec x. But if you get the integral of cot x cosec x with respect to x, you will get negative sign with cosec of x plus c, that is integration constant. If you get the derivative of cot x, you will get negative cosec square x. But in reverse process, if you get the integral of cosec square x with respect to x, you will get negative cot x plus c. As you have learnt about the derivative of sine inverse x upon a in our previous video. If you get integral of dx upon a square plus x square, you would get 1 upon a tan inverse x upon a plus c. If you get the integral of a power x with respect to x, you will get a power x upon natural log of a plus c. A is the base of this exponential function. If you get the integration of sine of ax with respect to x, you will get negative cos ax upon a plus c. You can also get its integration by replacement. You can multiply this complete function with a and divide with a, then you can replace this ax with another term t, then integrate it and you will get negative cos t upon a, then replace the t with ax and you will get this function. That is very easy. If you want to get the integral of sec square bx with respect to dx, then you would get tan of bx upon b plus c. Dear students, I suggest you all to please pause this video and write down all these formulas in your notebook for your further reference and practice purpose. Now dear students, we are going to learn about the applications of integration and the basis on which the integration works to get the value of area below a curve. Dear students, a function can be represented by a curve with respect to the independent variable. Like if a function y is given in terms of x, then we can draw a curve of this function with respect to x. If we want to get the area below this curve, then you will have to define the limits between which we want to get the area. Here the x value is x1, here x value is x2. We will divide this complete area in infinitely small strips. These strips are vertical and parallel to each other. These small strips are so much small. In that area of a single strip, the y value will not change. And the width of the strip can be calculated by the change in value of x, or you can write it as x dash minus x double dash, or you can write it as delta x, which represents the change in value of x. Then the area of this single strip can be calculated by the area of a rectangle. Its width is delta x and height is y, because at this value of x, y have this value, so you can write its area of this single strip as y multiplied with delta x. These strips are so small and I will get the value of this complete area by adding the different areas of these small strips. So at the first strip the y value is y1, the delta x1, y2, delta x2, y3, delta x3, and so on up to the nth and last strip. The nth strip is the last strip in this region, so we can write it as the summation in this region from I value equal to 1 to n. We can write here yi delta x of I. If we change its notation and we put here the condition that the limit delta x is tends to 0, delta x, the change in x is very small quantity, then we will write delta x as dx, and then this summation sign will be converted into integration sign, that is this integration of y with respect to x. So delta x is converted into dx now. That is the basic method by which we can get the area below a curve. Dear students, I have written here the name of the applications of integration. The first one is area between curves. The method by which we can get the area below a curve. If we want to get the area between two different functions and two different curves, let the first function is y1, it is denoted by f of x. The second function is y2, function is g of x. And in the graphical representation, if fx have such a curve fx and another function gx have such a curve gx, and we want to get the area between these two curves from x is equal to 0 to value of x1, where these two curves are intersecting each other. Now dear students, you can get this area below this curve z as the area a1 can be calculated by integration of the second function y2, or you can write it as the integration of gx with respect to dx from x value is equal to 0 to x value is equal to x1. The second area is unknown. We want to get this area delta A. The total area below this function fx between this region is nothing but a1 plus delta A. a1 plus delta A. The total area below this first function fx can be calculated by a1 plus delta A as the integration from 0 to x1 of fx dx. Now dear students, you have two equations and you can calculate the value of delta A, which is the area between the first function and second function in the given region, which is the required answer. So subtract this first equation from the second equation and you can get it easily that delta A is equal to A1 plus delta A minus A1. So use the second part right hand side and you will get this is f of x minus g of x integration with respect 2x. We have got this common part dx. For the simplification, so you can write it as integration of the difference between these two functions y1 minus y2 and integrate it with respect to x between the given two limits from 0 to x1. Here also 0 to x1. In the similar manner, you can get the value of work done in a given force field or given force function. The formula which we use to get the value of work in linear motion, it is integration of force with respect to x, where the force function is given in the form of x or position. We can determine the work value in the given force field or force function. The function is given in terms of displacement or distance, then it is equal to the integral of force with respect to x between the given positions or limits. In the three-dimensional motion, we use vectors for displacements, and force is also a vector quantity. We will learn about vectors in our following chapters. Then you can get the value of work by F vector dot dr vector. Here the dot is showing the dot product or scalar product between force and displacement. The potential energy with respect to a given force field can be calculated by the negative work done. So the formula is now minus integration of force with respect to the displacement. Dear students, in our last video we have learnt about the differentiation by which you can get the instantaneous acceleration, that is equal to derivative of speed with respect to time. Then you can get a dt is equal to dv. Now integrate the both sides and you will get the speed is equal to integration acceleration with respect to time. This is the instantaneous speed. Similarly, for instantaneous speed, we have the formula of dx upon dt, and for velocity we have the formula v vector is equal to dr vector upon dt. R vector is showing the displacement vector, v vector is showing the velocity. In that condition you have the formula now v vector dt is equal to dr vector. Now integrate the both sides and you will get r vector is equal to integration v vector dt. This is the instantaneous displacement of a given object in the given functional velocity with respect to time. Now dear students, you can use these formulas to get the required quantity in physics and in terms of mathematical expression. This is the beauty of mathematics, in which we don't require to draw a given functional curve on paper, and you can use these formulas for our academic applications. I am giving you some problems for practice. Please note down those problems. It will expertise you in the subject of physics and mathematics also. We have learnt about the by-part differentiation of a given function. If a function is given as gx fx, this is the product rule of differentiation, and we get its derivative by gx differentiation of f with respect to x plus fx differentiation of g with respect to x and you can write the gx as u and fx as v. Then you will use the new notation. Don't write this lower part dx. We can write it as u dv plus v du. When we integrate this complete equation with respect to x, we get this notation. For the by part integration, we use this formula to get the integral of product of two functions. Then u dv can be written as d uv minus v du. Then integrate this complete equation and you will get integral u with respect to v is equal to u v minus integral of v with respect to u. Now dear students, if you want to get the integration of x plus sine of ax with respect to x, then it is very easy. You can separate these two functions and get its integral value using the formulas which we have learned in this video. So use x power 1 dx is nothing but x power 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1 plus sine of ax dx will give you negative cos of ax upon a plus the integration constant. Now dear students, we can write it in simple form as x square by 2 minus cos of ax upon a plus c. This is the first kind of integration which we can get in easy terms. Dear students, what will you do if you have a function like ax plus b whole square dx and you want to get its integral? There are other methods also, but for simplification, expand this function. We will get a square x square plus 2abx plus b square dx, and then separate these three functions and you will get here a square outside, the integration of x squared with respect to x plus 2ab outside, integration of x with respect to x plus b square outside, integration of dx. Use the formula for integral of x power n with respect to x and you will get x power 3 upon 3 in multiplication plus 2 of ab multiplied with x square by 2 plus b square multiplied with x. That is the answer, and in simple form you can use here a square x cube by 3 plus ab x square plus b square x. This is the second kind of integral which we can simplify using the previous learnt formulas. What will you do if you have a function like sine of ax plus b and you want to get its integral with respect to x? In that condition, replace this ax plus b by another term t, then get the derivative on the both sides and you will get a dx plus 0, it is equal to dt. Then a dx can be written as dt, so dx can be replaced by dt upon a. Then replace ax plus b by the term t, sine of t, then dx is replaced by dt upon a this is the method of replacement to get the integral. Then 1 upon a will come out, then sin t dt. The integral of sin t with respect to t is equal to negative cos t upon a. The term t will be replaced by this initial term ax plus b, then you will get its final function cos of ax plus b upon a plus the integration constant. Dear students, in this example, we are going to use the method of integral within limits. Now, if you want to get the value of integration of the given function t square plus half with respect to time t from time value 3 seconds to 4 seconds, then if this function t square plus half is showing nothing but the instantaneous speed, then this value v dt will give you the change in distance between the time from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Now dear students, we can write here x at time 4 x4 minus x at time 3, that is x3, or you can also written it as delta of x between 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Now use the formulas by which we can get the integration of x power n with respect to x. First, separate these two parts, t square dt from 3 to 4 plus 1 by 2 outside, integration of dt from 3 to 4. Now get their integral and write it in the square bracket, t power 2 plus 1 upon 2 plus 1 from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Write the limits in the right part of this square bracket. 1 by 2 is outside, a square bracket t from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Now simplify these two functions, t cube upon 3 from 3 to 4 plus half t from 3 to 4. Now use the given limits in these functions and we will get 1 by 3 is outside. Now replace the upper limit first, that is 4 cube, then subtract, replace the lower limit 3 cube plus half, replace the upper limit that is 4, subtract, replace the lower limit that is 3, and you will get your final answer, that is 1 by 3. 4 cube is nothing but 64, 3 cube is nothing but 27 plus 1 by 2, and here you get it as 1. 64 minus 27 is equal to 37 upon 3 plus half. After the simplification, you got your answer. So dear students, how do you like this video and what do you want to learn on this channel in our next video? Please write in the comment box. This is the last video on the basic mathematical tools of physics. You can download the formula sheet. I have given you some problems for your practice. You can also download the problem sheet and you will get its answer key at the bottom of this problem sheet. The Google Drive links of these parts are given in the description below this video. Dear students, if you are new at this channel, then please subscribe this channel tap on the bell icon and opt the option for all notifications. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Keep practicing, keep learning. Problem solving is always a fun.